Okay, so to start our chipboard sign, what I like to do is I like to first create a shape of the sign I'm going to be making. So for this, I'm going to hit the shapes button and I'm going to make a square. And I want to make it into the same dimensions as the sign or the wood that I'm going to be using. So I am going to unlock it and stretch it out to the dimensions of the sign that I'm going to be working with. So the sign I'm working with is about 20 by 10. So it's 20 inches long and then about 10 inches high. So I'll get it to this size I want and I'll make it white, just, I don't know, because my sign's white, so why not? So now that I have my shape, I'm going to make a text box and I'm going to pick a font, which is usually, it just takes me so long. So I will spare you, and once I find a font, I will come back and show you what we have. Okay, so the font I am going to choose is one called Strawberry Blossom. And I like this font because it's thick enough so I think it'll cut nicely with my chipboard because we don't want it too thin. Alright, so I have my text written and I accidentally clicked the wrong font. So I'm going to use my Strawberry Blossom font. And now what I want to do is I'm going to size it just to see what it looks like. So I'm going to unweld it and now move all my letters so that they're touching. So it's really important to do this with a script font so it looks correct. The M and the O don't need to touch, which actually works perfectly for me. So now that we have all of our text welded or, touching, we can size it to whatever I want, however I want it to look on this sign. So just play around with it till you figure out what works best for you. So now that we have our font or our text ready, I want to add some little swashes. So I like to use the I Love Glitter font, and if you use the brackets, it will make these cute little swishes. So I'm just going to make some swishes and add it on to this font. And again, so to get this effect, you use the brackets on the I Love Glitter font, which I paid for. That is a font that you have to pay for, but I'm sure there's other fonts that do the same thing. So I'm just going to add these to the end and kind of flush them enough to the text so that it looks like it's part of the same text or the same font. So I just duplicated that other swish so they're going to be the same size and thickness. And now I'm going to flip it around so it flushes a little bit better to this E. And then I'm really just going to play around with them and figure out kind of like what works best for this size font and just really, kind of play around with the size and the thickness and all that kind of stuff. So once we've hit make it, we can hit continue and it will start to find our machine. So then we can start making our settings. So we're going to select the heavy chipboard material. So you can see I have it favorited there, but if you don't, all you have to do is browse your materials and you will select the heavy chipboard option. Okay, so now that we're on the chipboard option, you can see that it's telling us we need to move our star wheels and we need to make sure that we're using the strong grip mat. So I'll switch you guys over to the camera so you can see what all of that actually means. Okay, so to use our chipboard, you'll notice a couple of things. One is that I am using my strong mat. So never, ever, ever do I really ever use this except for chipboard. Also, the Cricut website will prompt you to make sure you put painter's tape or some kind of tape around the corners of the chipboard to keep it in place. So you can see I've already done that here, and we have our chipboard on our mat. And I'll link the chipboard that I'm using below. It's just I think I just got like a pack from Amazon. Also, the machine, so we're going to be using our knife blade. So first things first, we will load that. So this is the knife blade we will be using. So we are going to load that into this cartridge here, so the B cartridge. So we're going to take out the regular blade and we're going to put this one in. So you'll notice that this blade has like little teeth on it, and there's also teeth in here. So we want those teeth to kind of like flush together because it kind of creates like a gear, like a gear kind of situation. So first things first, we'll do that. So you just put it in like you would a normal blade. Okay, so our knife blade is ready to go. You'll also notice that the Cricut machine will prompt you to move these little like star wheels, I think is what they call them, like little star wheels. And they're going to prompt you to move those, flush those to the sides. And the reason is because they have like little grooves on them. And if they are where they normally are, they're going to put grooves or indentations into our chipboard, which would be no bueno. So I'm just going to put these away. So we have that. We have our setting set on our Cricut, and I think that's it as far as things we need to do ahead of time to prepare. Okay, so now that we have everything prepared, you guys already know I have to move my machine around to get everything to fit. And I'm using a 12 by 20 format only because originally I was going to do something a little bit different. But anyway, so our light is blinking, so it's ready to go. So how the knife blade works with this chipboard is it does like passes. So on your machine, it'll say like pass 1 of, 20 or whatever. So the knife blade does take time, especially with this chipboard. So if this is a project that you need like in an hour, I would not do that. I would definitely plan ahead because this does take quite some time to run through all the passes to make it so you can actually cut it out of, to make sure you can actually get it out of the chipboard. So with that being said, we can load our mat. All right. So this is all ready to go, so we can start to cut. So it's going to make sure that you have the right blade in, which we do. So now it's basically going through one of 24 passes that it has to do. Just making sure it's really on there. Also, if for some reason your chipboard or it cuts through this tape, or like your design goes onto the tape like mine does, it's not a big deal because you could just peel the tape right off. It's not a huge issue. Alright, so I'm gonna let this kind of cut and do its thing, because if I videotape this whole thing, it would take forever. So I will come back once it is kind of wrapping up and show you the finished product. Okay, so my computer still says that it has about 20 minutes left, but I can already tell that some of these are pretty much ready to come out because the center of this E has already come out. And I think it's pretty much good to go. I think there's a way you can pause. And we can just kind of pick at this and see if it's ready to see. Like this came up super easily. Let's just see. Yeah, so I think this actually might be ready to go. I'll let it go through its pass one last time. I'll let it go through this one more pass, and then I think we can take it off. I think we'll be good to go. All right, I'm gonna hit cancel. Yes. All right, so I'm gonna unload this. Okay, so now is the moment of truth. So I'm gonna take this painter's tape off. Okay, so now we can just kind of move this around and be gentle with it. And this font that I picked actually works out perfectly because I was worried I would have to like break it up, but the M doesn't connect to the letters anyway, so it worked out perfectly. All right, so now we just take this off gently and get rid of the middles. So that is our chipboard. How cute does that look? So I'll show you what I'm gonna do with this. So I have this white board here, and my idea is I'm going to glue this here, and then I'll put our names here and the date and maybe some more like decorations. I haven't exactly figured out what the vision for this will look like yet, but how cute does this look? So it'll be like this. So cute, and just with a piece of nice and easy chipboard. Super easy. So that is basically it. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I try to answer all of my comments, but you know, it gets a little crazy working and you know, just trying to keep a balance. But yeah, leave me a comment if you have any questions. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and with that being said, happy crafting.